Hi, everyone. Again, if you haven't made your Khan Academy accounts yet, please go ahead and do so, so you can start practicing and following along in our series on the English verbs. So I constantly get questions about the perfect tense. So our first verb tense that we will focus on will be the perfect tense. So like we mentioned before, there are three main categories of verbs in the English language: the past tense, the present tense, and the future tense. And within each of those categories, you have four subcategories: the simple, the progressive, the perfect, and the perfect progressive. So in this video, we will just be talking about the perfect tense verbs. So what does the perfect tense verbs do? They are used to talk about an event one that happened before another event two, but the focus is on event number one. So here's an example sentence using the past perfect tense. I had visited Paris before my 21st birthday. Can you guess what the first event is and what the second event is? That's correct. I had visited Paris is event one, and my 21st birthday is event two. Remember that the focus is on event number one. I had visited Paris. Sometimes people might write the sentence like this: before my 21st birthday, I had visited Paris. Though they've moved those two clauses around, the meaning is still the same. Now let's go look at the present perfect. My example sentence here is, I have eaten breakfast before now. Can you guess what event one is and what event two is? That's correct. I've eaten breakfast is event one, and now is event two. Sometimes people might put already in between have and eaten. So the sentence might read, I have already eaten breakfast. Usually, people leave out before now when they use the present perfect tense, because in the present perfect tense, event two is always now. In the future perfect tense, my example sentence is, I will have studied all the verbs before school starts. Can you guess what event one is and what event two is? Oops, that's right. Event one is, I will have studied all the verbs, and event two is school starts. So before we meet again, that means you will have studied all the verbs. Okay, so how do we make the perfect tense forms? In the past perfect tense, you use had and the past participle, or sometimes known as the third verb form. In the present perfect, you use has or have, depending on the subject and the past participle. And in the future perfect, you use will have. Some people might use be going to instead of will have, and the past participle. For example, in the past perfect tense, I had driven a car before I was 16. Remember that the focus is on event 1. I had driven a car. So in this example, event 1, I had driven a car, may have happened when I was 15, 14, or even earlier. In my example for the present perfect, I have flown in an airplane before today. Remember, people don't usually write today or now when they are talking about the present perfect because it is implied. It is always before now. It is always before today. So you can just say, I have flown in a plane. And it doesn't matter exactly when I flew in a plane. It just matters that it happened before now. In my example for the future perfect, I will have been to Italy before. Sorry, it's hard for me to see. Okay, I see it now. I will have been to Italy before 2050. So that means sometime in between now and 2050, I will go to Italy and visit it. And there you have it. We have our perfect tenses, the past perfect, the present perfect, and the future perfect. Thank you.